Okay, this is the Christian Hearts Christian Fellowship online ministry with the pastor, Brother Isaac David Brigmond. This is the 16th of November 2017, and as I always say, when you watch these videos are intended to give you the illusion and the imagination that you are listening to preaching on the radio, and plus, when you listen to these videos, you are actually attending a church service. So today we're going to go to Hebrews 11, and we're going to go down to 7. So from 1 to 7. Okay, I'm going to do the best I can with this because of the setup I got here, but bear with me, okay? Okay, I know let's see, hold on. I'll be sharing people's houses and stuff. Okay, let's get started here. Okay. The the great faith of God's people. Faith makes us sure of what we hope for and gives us proof of what we cannot see. It was their faith that made our ancestors pleasing to God. Because of our faith, we know that the world was made as God commanded. We also know that what can be seen was made out of what cannot be seen. Because Abel had faith, he offered God a better sacrifice than Cain did. God was pleased with him and his gift, and even though Abel is now dead, his faith still speaks for him. Enoch had faith and did not die. He pleased God, and God took him up to heaven. That's why his body was never found. But without faith, no one can please God. We must believe that God is real and that he rewards everyone who searches for him. Because Noah had faith, he was warned about something that had not yet happened. He obeyed and built a boat that saved him and his family. In this way, the people of the world were judged, and Noah was given the blessings that come to everyone who pleases God. Okay, what this proves, and I'm going to talk to you about that right now. What this proves is that God says that everything that we do in the name of faith will cause us to be strong people. Like if we say we're going to do something in the name of God, and we do that good deed in the name of God, we please God, and we make God happy with what we do. I've seen many times in history, a man or a woman would do something that God told them to do, and God blessed them for it. And then I've seen times when men and women would not do anything God said, and they'd get stern talked to by God because God wanted them to learn something. He said, you didn't do what I asked you to do, so I got to punish you for it. I told you what to do, and you wouldn't listen, so I have to punish you for it. Now, these people were probably sad, crying, and miserable because they didn't see what God was doing for them because they didn't get to see it because it didn't happen. Meaning there were some things that we had to miss out on, some of the blessings that God had for us because we weren't listening. That noise in the background is me drinking coffee. But no, what I'm saying is, you ever seen it before where you see a guy getting so much stuff happening in his life and you get jealous of it because you wonder, how do you get all this, and you don't get all this? It's because he was listening to God, and God rewarded him for his diligentness, his faith, his loyalty. Because when you have faith in things, have faith that God will provide for you. When you get to the point like I've gotten before where I would slip and worry about something, I make mistakes. When you mean to pay for something in one manner and you pay for it in another manner, and you find out that you messed yourself up, don't worry about it. As long as you have faith in God, God says, I know you have your absent-minded moments. I tell you, brothers and sisters, your pastor, Brother Isaac David Brigmond, I have my slip-ups with my mind. You think for 36 I wouldn't have it going on, but I do. And I'm going to tell you, I'm sorry that I hadn't been talking to y'all like I should lately, but I had some personal issues to come up, and it was some that kept me from having to explain myself. You know how it is when you work for God and you do things. Sometimes you have things that come up, and you and God have to deal with those things, regardless of if it's your fault or not. But do understand when I put that, oh yeah, keep up to date on me. If you go to Facebook and look for Isaac David Brigmond, you will see where it shows on there about the page that I started, a web page I started for this ministry that we're doing. You know, the YouTube video radio ministry thing, the Jesus Heart Radio. Got it on page. So keep up to date with that by going to Isaac David Brigmond on Facebook, and when you see where I say what page to go to on the internet, then go to that page, and there's a page that's not connected to Facebook, but I announce it on Facebook about the updates. So it's like saying you have a page specially for the Jesus Heart Radio by itself, but I will put on my page on Facebook information letting you know to go check up the updates on the Jesus Heart Radio page. And I want y'all to know, folks, when you have faith in God, you have faith in a lot of things. I've seen men and women crying and whining in this world because they didn't have everything they wanted. So then they found out later they got things they needed, not what they wanted, because they turned around and had faith in God, had faith in Jesus, poured their heart out to God and Jesus. And don't let folks tell you wearing black is going to make you a sinful person, or wearing red is going to make you sin, or wearing camo. It's not your clothes that makes you what you are, it's your heart. If your heart ain't pure, then you ain't going to be doing right. A lot of people have made in history this thing about, and you know me, I do skew off on a tangent, but it's all for God. Even my straightforward approach or my skew off into a tangent approach, it's all about God. So either way, it's about God. So I guess in this case, the sermon is about me saying have faith in your life with your religion and with God. And also don't let people tell you that every little thing you do is a sin. They'll say if you drink coffee, it's a sin. They'll say if you eat chocolate, it's a sin. They'll say if you wake up, it's a sin. I mean, they'll tell you anything's a sin anymore. And brothers and sisters, I'm not trying to tell you that there's no such thing as sin in this world. But let's all get it straight. If we have faith in God, so yes, the two things connect. They do really connect. What I'm saying is, if you have faith in God, God will tell you what's a sin and what ain't a sin. You don't listen to all these naysayers going around telling people, well, you know, this is a sin and that's a sin. A lot of times it's just people that whether they do it intentionally or not, they are working for the devil by telling you what's a sin, and you go to believing it's a sin. Then you go find out later on down the road, what did I do? I listened to this person telling me this all's a sin, and I don't really know if that's true or not. So what you do with that story is you don't argue about it and you don't fuss about it. You just say, well, if it is a sin to do this stuff, then you know what? If God told me it was a sin, I'm going to quit doing it. That's your best bet right there. And you know what? You gamble. But you always gamble on God and you'll always win. Because the devil never made that spiritual gamble where he would win all the time. He only won against those that were weak. Those that were weak, they fell. Like the story about the king that fell. Well, you'll fall too if you don't listen to God. God tells you every day, I am the God. I am the one you should listen to. But nobody wants to do that because They think if they listen to God, they're going to end up getting to experience something that's not considered their brand of paradise. But you know what? We don't need to worry about our brand of paradise. We need to worry about God's brand of paradise. God's brand of paradise says, have faith in God and you will see pleasures that only can come from God and Jesus. The pleasures of Christianity, the pleasures of being Christ-like, the pleasures of doing things that God asks us to do today, not tomorrow. And if you believe in what I'm saying, then you need to stand up and tell the world, hey world, I'm not for the devil. I'm not for the worldly pleasures. I'm for the godly pleasures. I'm for what pleasures I get from God. Being able to spend time with my black family, my white family, my green family, if there is green, Mexican family, Jewish family, every family in the world. Because you know what? I don't see race. If I want to see race, I'll say is a Christian. Okay, if you want to talk about race, let's talk about Christianity. That's a, how about that being a race? A race of people that stand for God. That should be the only one we should worry about. And stop worrying about this life matters and that life matters. Last time I checked, God said that all life matters. And we're sitting here worrying about this color life matters. I'm colorblind when it comes to making friends with God because, you know, yes, it's obvious to see what's in front of you. But my heart says that if I want to make friends and family through Christ, then you can be my friend no matter who you are. As long as you're not trying to manipulate me into being a man of the devil instead of a God. Now, I am not into that. So if you want me to be your friend, then you sit there and you tell me how God is right and how God is good. Don't sit there and tell me, well, I can't tell you this or I can't do that. God says, if you love God, then every man you come across, it will be obvious